The main bedroom has been the most dramatic demo project I've ever worked on. What was supposed to be a cosmetic update has turned into so much more work than I anticipated. This week, I uncovered some pretty significant problems that need to be addressed before I can make over this space. So let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This week I am demoing the primary bedroom and I cannot wait to make over this space. Before I get started, I will say that I started demo in this room back in April and it is currently late July. So I did have a little bit of a learning curve and I am going to be pivoting the way that I demo this room moving forward. One quick housekeeping note, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a really big goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and every subscribe really helps me. If you think you're subscribed already, go ahead and check as well because you may have gotten unsubscribed by YouTube at some point. Liking, commenting, sharing with your friends, all of that really helps me to reach the goal. Thank you. Before I do anything else, I need to test for lead. I know that the trim has been repainted sometime in the last at least 20 years, so there is not going to be any lead on this layer of paint. What I'm going to do is just test the door first, see if that has any lead, and then I can go from there. There are 2 tests in the kit that I purchased. Some of the paint is chipping off of the baseboards, so I will be able to retest and make sure that the trim doesn't have any lead as well after I remove everything. And then I'll have to test a couple of swatches downstairs as well later, but for now I'm going to start on the door. And then once I remove the trim, I'll test the trim as well, just to make sure we're completely safe. All right, it says crush, shake and squeeze, and then rub. Oh, there we go. B, and then shake. All right, if it turns red or pink, lead is present. Let's see what it says. Okay, I really can't tell. It does look a little pink to me, but overall it just looks yellow. I'm just gonna be extra cautious and say that this has at least a little bit of lead paint, so I won't sand it down or anything. I'll make sure to use the proper lead paint remover protocols whenever I do work on the door. All right, I did a second test just in case, and that one definitely has some pink. And it's real wood. It's not MDF. Put myself in a bit of a predicament. The box for the receptacle is attached to the wood, so I'm going to have to cut it out in order to remove the piece, but I am going to save what I can from this board. I'm really happy that I started with this piece. I learned a few different things. First being I need to work top to bottom, not bottom to top, which is a good lesson because I was unaware. And I learned that this is in 3 pieces. So there's a top molding, the base, which is like this big piece right here, and then a quarter round for the bottom. So now that I know that this comes up in 3 separate pieces, I should be good to go the rest of the room. But I will start at the top and then come down. Oh. That's really pretty. Back in April, I removed the baseboards and some of the trim around the window area. Today, I decided that I wanted to start on the most problematic area in this room, something that I can clearly see has had water damage in the past, this awful wall. Those noises that were supposed to be words were, "Oh Lord, please don't tell me we have freaking termites." I saw a bug crawl quickly behind the crown molding and I had a small panic. I eventually decided to open the walls to see if we had termites, and the plaster needed to be removed anyway because there were several moldy spots from previous water damage. After further assessing the situation, I don't believe we have termites. Here you see me taping the ceiling because I felt like a bug fell on me through the crack. This was obviously the only solution at the time.
I was waiting in the undertow, sail drifting fell away like bones, unaware of where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow, can't touch the bottom, sit into a tumble. Waves that shake me out.
Let's talk about this wall. The initial plan was to confirm that there were no termites, remove the lath, and just add some drywall back up. But now there are other plans. Once I removed all of the plaster, I realized that there's a significant amount of rotten wood and at least one stud is fairly useless. And the paneling on the exterior shows clear signs of water damage and maybe even a little fire damage, so I called the city about some permits. This wall is load bearing because it's an exterior wall and I do need a permit to do anything with this wall and the ceiling, so unfortunately I stopped work until I get my permit. I did decide to remove the wallpaper where I could, but for the time being, the wall with the door will remain wallpapered and completely intact, and the ceiling is still TBD on what I will be doing.
I was waiting in the undertow, sail adrift and fell away like bones, unaware of where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow. And the water feels like a friend I've not seen in years, so familiar and strange at once, like a lover who lost her touch. At first I was hesitant, now it seems oh so curious. How'd I wind up so far from home when I barely had left the shore? And I was waiting in the undertow, set adrift and fell away like bones, unaware of where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow.
Half of this wall is going to come off once I remove this crap. All of this is falling off. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. It's because it's attached to a freaking lath.
That one nail right there caused all of this to come breaking apart.
Look at this right here. At least it's still holding on. Unbelievable.